Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Teaching English to Kids, a journey of fun learning. I'm your host Paola Pando, and I'm absolutely thrilled to have you with me today. In our last episode, we dove into the incredible brains of our young learners, their amazing neuroplasticity and their reliance on implicit memory. Today, we are taking that knowledge and putting it directly into action with a topic that I am truly passionate about. That's play-based learning, how to use games that require repetitive language. If you ever wonder how to turn repetitive practice from a chore into the most exciting part of your lesson, this episode is for you. We'll explore the science behind why it works, and I'll give you some practical and ready-to-use ideas for your classroom. Are you ready to start? So let's go. Why is play such a powerful tool for language learning? It's not just about keeping children entertained. That's certainly a happy side effect. But it's much more than that. It's deeply rooted in how their brains are wired to learn. As we discussed last time, children are masters of implicit learning. They acquire language not by memorizing rules, but by using language meaningfully in context. So that's playing. Renowned psychologist Lev Vygotsky emphasized that play is a fundamental vehicle for child's development. In play, a child is always behaving beyond their age, beyond their everyday behavior, and taking risks with language they might not use in a formal exercise. Furthermore, research in second language acquisition by experts like Stephen Krashen supports the idea that language is best acquired in low anxiety environments, what he calls a low affective filter. We have also discussed this before. Play lowers that filter immediately. When a child is focused on winning a game or achieving a goal within a play scenario, their focus shifts from "I am learning English" to "I need to say it's under the table just for winning." See? The language becomes a tool, not a subject. This is how we move from learning about the language to actually using the language. The magic of play-based learning lies in its ability to provide compelling repetition. Drilling vocabulary flashcard is repetitive, but it's not compelling. A game where you need to name that card to move your team's piece across the board, that's compelling. So how playing helps children acquire the second language? Vocabulary. Playing solidifies vocabulary. Hearing and producing a word or a phrase multiple times in a fun context moves it from short-term to long-term memory. Remember what we talked last podcast? Knowledge gained through implicit memory, especially when paired with emotion, movement, and fun, is encoded more deeply. The language learned this way is not easily forgotten because it's tied to an experience, not just a page in a textbook. What about fluency? Building fluency. The pressure of the game encourages quicker recall and more automatic use of language. Let us stop a little bit more here and break down this idea. Play builds fluency. We often think of fluency as speaking perfectly, but for young learners, it's really about communication without hesitation. It's the difference between a student freezing when someone asks him or her, "What do you like?" and instantly responded, "I like pizza." A structured drill might teach them the vocabulary and grammar. That's true, but it doesn't teach them to access that quickly. This is where play comes in. During a high engagement game, the child's brain is focused on winning, having fun, solving the problem, not on the scary task of speaking English. The language becomes a tool to achieve a goal. The anxiety melts away because the focus is on the game, not on the language. So playing encourages quick recall. There's no time to translate from their first language. To take their turn or find a clue in a game, they must access the English word right now. So this practices the neural pathway for rapid retrieval. This repeated rapid recall under pressure makes the use of the language more automatic. It moves from their slow-thinking brain to their fast-thinking brain. They stop thinking about the language and start using it. That is what we want our students to achieve. That is our final goal. So in essence, play secretly trains them to react in English without overthinking, which is the very foundation of fluency. Mistakes become part of the game, not a source of shame, so provides safe practice. Playing provides safe practice. So a wrong answer just means it's the next player's turn, so creating a safe space to try it. That is playing games. So let's go from theory to practice. That's what we really need to know, right? How do we actually do this? From simpler to more complex, here there are 3 categories of play-based activities. Number 1, classic games with a language twist. You don't need to reinvent the wheel. So take some games children already love and add a language objective. That's it. For example, Simon Says, in which you practice total physical response. Simon Says is perfect for teaching body parts and action verbs. Simon Says, touch your nose. Simon Says, jump 3 times. Simon Says, turn around. The repetition is built in an utterly enjoyable environment. What's another example? Go fish. So adapt this for any vocabulary set. Instead of numbers, use cards with animals, with food, professions, etc. The required question, do you have a? And the answer, yes I do, or no I don't, and no I don't, so go fish. See, provides fantastic structure repetition. Number 2, so number 1, classic games with a language twist. Number 2, mystery and guessing games. These tap into a child's natural curiosity and create a real need to use the language. For example, what's in the bag? So you can take a bag, place a familiar object, and students can feel it, have to ask questions to guess. For example, is it soft? Is it hard? Is it big? Is it small? So you can gradually add more descriptive language. More descriptive language. The repetition of the question structure is natural and motivated. What is another example? That game that is called 20 questions. So one student thinks of a word from a unit, so animals again, food, friends, school, etc. And the rest of them have 20 chances to ask yes or no questions. For example, can it fly? Does it live on a farm? Is it brown? Does it have, 4 legs, etc. So this practices question formation is brilliant. You can structure one question formation. What about number 3? Narrative and scenario-based play. This is where language truly comes to life. So create a scenario that requires language to move into. For example, the market stall. So this is a very, very classic game you can invite your students to play. So set up a little market with plastic food or pictures, and give some students money and others the role of shopkeepers. So the required language is simply but powerful. Hello, what do you like? I would like an apple, please. Okay, that's $2, please. Thank you. I see you then. Thank you for everything. I don't know. So there are many questions and expressions you can use when you install this kind of little market in your classroom. Another example is find your partner. This is a very popular game. So you can give each student a card and they must find their partner by asking questions. If you're teaching jobs, for example, when a student has a picture of a stethoscope or another thing, and you can ask, okay, what do you use? Until they find the student with the card that says, I'm a doctor. See? That's a very popular, and you can include many different questions there. Something important, you can play a lot in your classroom, and of course, that is a way to teach effectively English. But the thing is, you have to make sure that some things must be done before the game. So keep these tips in mind. Number 1, model, 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 and model. Before you start the game, demonstrate exactly what you want them to say. You have to be dramatic, be clear, lots of repetition, write it down on the whiteboard if it's possible, etc. You have to model the structure you want your students to use in the game and must be clear for everyone. Many games fail because of they don't understand the instructions. So the instructions on what they have to do and what they have to say must be super clear. What is number 2? Chorus practice. Have all students repeat the key phrases together a few times before the game begins. This builds confidence and is connected with the same ideas I explained before. Number 3, keep the language focus clear. Choose 1 or 2 key structures to practice per game. Please don't overload it. The goal is focused repetition, so you cannot include a lot of questions or a lot of different expressions. See? Focus on repetition so they can internalize the structure well and they feel confident with that. Number 4, error correction. During play, correction should be gentle and indirect. If a student says, I want apple, you can just smile and model back. Okay, would you like an apple? Here you go. See? The idea is recast the correct form without breaking the flow of the game. Some people truly recommend that you do not correct at that moment, at that very moment. You can do it later. See? But sometimes if you do it gentle and without without any shame for the students, so no problem. Good. So play isn't a break from learning. It is the highest form of learning for a child. By using games that require repetitive language, we are working with their neurology, not against that. We are building confident, fluent speakers who see English not as a subject to be studied, but as a language to be used. I enjoy. Today, I had a conversation with a teacher, and I told her, if we really understand how our children learn, it's not difficult for us to plan any kind of class, and they will learn. See? We need to plan for learning, not for teaching. Okay? Take that in mind. So I love to hear about your favorite classroom game. So share your ideas with me, please. And next week, we are going to explore another magical tool that pairs perfectly well with play. But I'm not going to tell you. We'll discuss about that next episode. So until then, keep playing, keep teaching, and remember to make every lesson a joyful one. Thank you everyone for listening, and I see you next episode. Bye everyone.